Welcome to my Horizon Zero Dawn deep dive introduction.
Getting soaked from melted snow.
I absolutely love this game, and I have watched so many videos and playthroughs and documentaries and read articles and so on. And there are lots of things that this game has inspired me to think about that I haven't seen other people talk about. I would love to hear your comments on these topics. Horizon is a beautiful game with an amazing concept and a gameplay that suits me perfectly. I have played this game many times and I've seen others play it countless of times, and this game has brought tears to me more consistently than any other game. I have written a whole series of articles on my blog. You can find the link in the description. But there are a lot more things I would like to talk about. Since the mystery of the world and the character is at the heart of the story, I would implore you to play the game for yourself, or at least watch the playthrough. I have recorded and uploaded a complete playthrough of the game, and I have cut it down to a feature-length movie. So please experience the story. It's not what you would think from watching the trailers. Here on will be spoilers. We start in the Garden of Eden. The Nora tribe is in harmony with nature. It's the mother's embrace, with nurturing love and the divine feminine. Venturing out in the world, we see ruins of ancient high-technology civilizations. The Nora tribe has rejected technology and believes it an enemy of All Mother Gaia. Humanity has certainly had an history of adopting technologies that has destroyed the very foundation of the things that we human lives on. So there are a lot of people who think that technology in itself is destroying the nature and that we need to go back to a more primitive style of life. Is it possible for humans to live in harmony with nature and still have advanced technology? I have a dream of a future where we can live in harmony with nature and technology. What would that look like? How would we get there? And what would be the dangers in the way? We have several tribes featured in the game. There is the Nora, that's an isolationist egalitarian matriarchy. We have a Karja, that's an expansionist classicist patriarchy. The Oseram, that's an enterprising secular materialist. We have a Banuk, that's a tribal animistic meritocracy. We have a Tenak, that's a warrior culture. And the Utari, that's an agrarian spiritualist tribe that seeks harmony through balance. The point here is that there are lots of different groups that want to change the society, that they want to find ways to live in another way. So they go together with friends and start an eco-village, or some of them has lots of money and they want to build a new city or create a new nation for experimenting with different types of society. So what is the best type of society? What's the best type to govern and to live together? How do you form a culture? And what is the type of society that you would want to live in? What would work best? With just a small group of people, tens of people? What would work best with if it grows larger with hundreds or thousands of people? How would it change over time? Where would you yourself want to live? And what could be the best place for Aloy to live in? The way that the societies in Horizon Zero Dawn is made, I think, is very well done. You can see that the different people has their own culture, their belief systems, customs, different ways. But individuals in each society all has their own personalities. You can see that how different types of personalities express themselves within the different orientations of society. The ecological topics of this game is also very interesting. We have collapsing ecosystems, we have mass extinctions, we have a poisoning of the waters and microparticles that goes into our own food production, and the effects it has in the short term and in long term, the sickness that comes from living in this environment for decades. We have erosion of topsoil, and we have extraction of materials from the earth in a non-sustainable manner. A lot of people in the environmental movement thinks that finding solutions to the problem by introducing even more technology is to do this in the wrong way. I think that the only sustainable solution is to stop the technological progress and go back to a low energy society and slow down all consumption and living closer to nature in a low technology manner, a little bit like Venora. There has been a long history of a reductionist thinking in manner of the processes of nature, a simplification of all the things that nature do and the ecosystems. So the question is if it's even possible to construct any form of technological solution to restore the environment or to recreate ecosystems that has evolved through millions of years. Some types of complexities doesn't scale in a way that you can solve them by introducing more processing power. If it's a matter of complex integrated systems in a fractal and chaotic manner, then you can't solve that by adding more supercomputers. So can we recreate the complex systems of nature with an advanced artificial intelligence? This is one of the core contrasts that I love in this game, that we have the nature and the technology, and that the game asks the question that is it possible to do this? I would like you to join me in going deep into all the details of the terraforming system and the science and the technology that are suggested to be part of it. Please comment and join in the discussion. Tell me things that I missed and comment on all the things that I talked about. I'm also very interested in the depiction of religion in this game. It's a way to describing how we try to understand the world and the misinterpretation of things, and how dogma is formed. And I think that this is very interesting if we can see this from the outside and learn more about how we are in our own dogma, regardless if it's politics or economy or religion or views on anything else in our society, how our belief systems are formed from our history, our culture, and we're using ways to interpret things that we don't have a whole picture. And this is more than information philosophy in general, because I think that the way that the difference between Aloy's view of the Gaia system and the religious view of Gaia and the machines as gods.
It's heavy. Well, it's going wide.
I think that's similar to how the world would be in general in the view of theosophy or metaphysics. I'm also very interested in game design for how we can create worlds that we can adventure in and do it in a way that we can have freedom to explore and influence the world and see the reactions from what we chose. How we can create a perfect game and do it in a way that we are not locked into a specific story that an author has done. Other things that I would want to talk about is why we play a game, what is the engagement, and I want to talk about pacifistic gameplay, difficulty, immersion, and lots of other things. And finally, I want to talk about the story, world, and gameplay of Horizon. I'm the type of person who want to take into account everything that's happened around me. And that's why I get very distracted from information in the HUD on the display. I also tend to freeze when I encounter new information, and that's why it's very important for me that I can hide and think about the situation, and if anything goes wrong, I want to have the ability to run away and rethink what to do. So I don't like time pressure when I have to handle new situations in a time-restricted manner. So this is about the first action game that I actually managed to play on a higher difficulty setting and still enjoy it. And that's also one of the reasons why I want to share my gameplay with more people, because I'm so happy that this is a game that I can play and have an interesting gameplay experience and still have a freedom to avoid the situation that I don't enjoy. So this game lets me approach combat as a sort of puzzles that I can figure out a way to do them without having to rely on fast reaction time. I can play the game using smarts rather than action-reaction skills. So having had a lot of time to learning all the systems and getting accustomed to the gameplay, it's actually very simple to play the game at the hardest difficulty. That doesn't mean that it's easy to do for the first time, but after I learned it, I can get through almost everything in the game in a safe manner without putting myself at risk. So this has been a sort of an introduction into some of the things that I would like to talk more about, and doing a series of videos. One of the things that I thought about was to play through the game and comment on everything in it during my playthrough. I will link to my previous articles that go into more depth for some of the topics that I talk about here. So please comment, I want to hear from you. I pushed myself to talk about it and record this in the hope that I might find more people with similar interest.